Hey everyone, I'm Nico from Licks of the Beast, and today I'm going to show you how to play all of the rhythm guitar parts to Flight of Icarus by Iron Maiden. This video is going to be the first of a new series aimed at beginner and early intermediate guitar players, as well as anyone who has an interest in how the main guitar parts of Iron Maiden songs are put together. The idea for this video came from a gentleman by the name of Ramos Diaz, who left a really great comment on my last video. He said, "I'm a guitar player and I want to start playing some Iron Maiden with my son. Can you make a video of top 5 or top 10 songs we should start with, difficulty-wise?" And I thought, you know what? There's no time like the present, so I decided to start a beginner-friendly series where I will show you how to play Iron Maiden songs that are approachable even when you're still in that fairly early stage of learning how to play the guitar. I'm going to break down all of the basic rhythm guitar parts so that you can play along with the entire songs from beginning to end. I'm also going to give you a few tips and tricks to help you play the parts more accurately, and a few theoretical tidbits so that these tutorials will have the added benefit of increasing your musical vocabulary as you go along. Alright, so let's get right into it. Here is a beginner-friendly tutorial for Iron Maiden's Flight of Icarus. This is a simple song with a nice, steady mid-tempo so that you don't have to worry about keeping up with the pace. What you do have to pay special attention to, however, is the song's groove, and while it's easier to approach, it often takes longer to master, so what I'm going to show you here, you can work on and perfect for years to come. Let's start with the main riff. It's made up of just 3 power chords, A, E, and F sharp. You play the A and E once each, and then do a nice steady gallop rhythm on the F sharp chord. Here are 2 small tips to make this riff sound truly killer. First of all, to make sure that the A and E chords are played with a very staccato feel without them bleeding into the next chord, let your palm fall naturally onto the strings before your next pick attack, so that you mute the strings before hitting the next chord. You also want to do a similar thing with your fret hand as you switch to the next chord shape. Use your index finger to mute the strings just a little before pressing down on the next chord. Number 2, the picking pattern for this rhythm is down, down, up. To get a nice solid groove, be sure to accent the note on the downbeats and ease up a bit on the 2 notes of the upbeats. Next, we go into the verse. We start by letting the last chord of the riff ring and fade out for just short of 4 measures. Then, on the 4th beat of the 4th measure, we hit an A power chord and slide into an E power chord. Hold that for almost 2 measures. Then, on the 4th beat of the 2nd measure, hit the A power chord again and slide to F sharp. The second time around, they add this really neat little fill right in the middle of that F sharp chord fading out. It's basically just an A6 chord to an A5 chord. And this is a great way to add a little texture and also to build on the song as it goes along. The pre-chorus is next. Here we're going to play an ascending chord progression, starting with F sharp, E over G sharp, A, B, C sharp, and E. The rhythm pattern of the first 3 chords is pretty cool, as you're playing the downbeat of the 1 and the 2, and then the upbeats of the 3 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. That's your introduction to a technique known as syncopation, and it's a great way to create forward momentum in music. When they go back to this part after the second verse, they play it twice with a small turnaround in between, like this. That takes us to the chorus. This part is probably the most challenging part of the song to play on guitar, but I'll help you get through it with a few little pointers. To make it more manageable, let's break it down into two halves. For the first half, start by hammering onto an F-sharp power chord like this. Let's do that again. Then hit another F-sharp chord on the fourth beat of the measure, followed by an E power chord on beat 1 of the next measure. Let it ring out, and play the top two strings together on beat 2, and let everything ring for the rest of the measure. So together, you get this. The second half is where it gets a little bit tricky, as you have a few power chord slides against palm-muted percussive strums. It looks like this. The trick to nailing the first chord is to make sure your pinky is firmly anchored onto the 7th fret, and from there you let your index do all the work, sliding between the 4th and 5th frets. Practice slowly until you can get a nice clean separation between the D power chord and the A over C sharp chord. The rhythm backing for Dave's solo is basically just alternating between a gallop on the E and F sharp power chords with that little A and E tail in between. The rhythm behind Adrian's solo is the same as the second pre-chorus. After the solos, the song goes right back to the chorus, which repeats twice, and then we have this really powerful and highly climactic outro. The rhythm guitar starts by playing the exact same thing as the first half of the second pre-chorus twice, so like this. Then we repeat that, but this time with a gallop picking pattern, and then we hold that last B chord for a bit just before the big rock ending under Bruce's ridiculously high scream. Kinda like this. The lead guitar, played by Dave Murray, does a harmonized line for the first half of the outro and then a flurry of licks over the second half. To keep this simple and beginner friendly, we're just going to focus on the first half. So first, we play this melody. And here it is slowly. And then we have a harmony underneath, like this. Slowly. And then he plays a variation of that harmony line, like this. Slowly it looks like this. The rest is a short solo which, again, we won't cover in this video. So that's it for this lesson. I hope this was easy enough to follow along and that it also provided some interesting insights for intermediate guitar players and perhaps non-musicians as well. Let me know your thoughts and questions in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like and do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching and stay tuned for more licks of the beast.